What is up, everybody? It is me, Put McGee, here on my gaming channel, and today we're going to be doing Esper Control. Before I jump into the video, let me encourage you to go check out my sponsor, me. I am my sponsor. It's just me here, but it would be really awesome if you enjoy this video to either hit like or leave a comment and go check out my other videos. It really helps me out and it makes me feel good. So thanks for stopping by. And without further ado, let's talk about this deck, Esper Control. Now, obviously, in Esper Control, we're playing Teferi. We're going to be playing 2 copies of Teferi because I don't want to run 4. Also, I don't have 4 copies. But here's what we're doing. So, of course, I could run 4 copies of Teferi and just do a normal, like, hard control with Teferi. But I like to do it with 2 Teferis and 2 Kayas. So we have a Planeswalker on the field early on, and that's what it's going to do for us is really help us out against aggro decks, like smaller things that are going to put a lot of creatures on the field, especially creature tokens, which are very much in the meta right now with Afterlife. And this also helps us deal with Phoenixes and things like that. We can exile creature cards from the graveyard and gain some life that way and kind of make it to the late game. Now, so those are our two Planeswalkers that we're actually playing in this deck. We got 2 of Teferi and 2 of Kaya. Now, our win cons are basically either we max Kaya out and we ult with her after we've exiled a bunch of cards and we kill our opponent that way, or we also are playing 2 Thief of Sanities, and we're playing 1 Dawn of Hope. Dawn of Hope is another card that really helps us in the long term, because if we get it out in the early to mid game, we can create blockers and draw cards with it, and that's something we really need to do. We really need to do is keep card advantage over our opponent, and this helps us do that. It also can give us a bunch of tokens at the end of the game that we can crush our opponent with. So, yeah. Thief of Sanity is also just a fantastic card. 2/2 flyer that we can play in the mid game and start stealing our opponent's deck and playing their creatures or whatever we want from them. If we're playing against another control deck, we can take their counter spells, or we can take their planeswalkers even. If we're playing against some like Sultai midrange or even an aggro deck, we can get this out and steal their creatures and put up blockers to protect us and protect our planeswalkers. Other things we're playing. Let's see. Okay, we're playing 4 Thought Erasures. This helps us a ton because on turn 2, we're able to basically hamstring our opponent in a lot of cases. Of course, this doesn't always help us out. Sometimes it gets countered with a negate. Sometimes our opponent copies it with an expansion, and then Thought Erasures us. But usually we're able to take a key piece of the opponent's deck and just throw it right into the graveyard. Like, for instance, against mono red or mono blue. If mono red, we can look at their hand and then steal. We can take away runaway steamkin or something like that. That's like a really key element for them, either producing more damage and producing more mana for their deck. And with mono blue, we can take a Tempest Djinn or Curious Obsession or something like that that's going to help them draw more cards and sustain a game. Now, in removal, we run a lot of different kinds of removal because we see a lot of different kinds of decks. When we're playing best of 1, we have to kind of mix and match here a little bit. So it's a bit hit or miss sometimes, but it's that way for a reason. So we've got 2 Cast Downs and 2 Moment of Craving. We play Cast Down because sometimes a -2/-2 just isn't enough to kill the creatures we want to kill. But we do play Moment of Craving because it does deal with a lot of things we see. This can be played at instant speed to get rid of some creatures with Explore or creatures that are going to gain more tokens throughout, like Ajani's Pridemate, for instance. Before this gets a token, we can play Moment of Craving and get rid of it before it gets too big. It also gains us life, which is huge against aggro. Against both mono white, mono red, and mono blue aggro, this really helps us. We do play Cast Down, though, because, as I said, sometimes -2/-2 just isn't enough. We're also playing 2 Cry of the Carnariums because we need it. We need to exile creatures a lot. There's a Rakdos aggro and Mardu kind of death token thing. Because of Judith the Scourge Diva, sometimes we want to just exile a bunch of creatures. Again, this helps us deal with aggro. It's a board wipe for small creatures, but it also exiles, which is really good when we don't want to be just destroying a bunch of creatures that are going to end up dealing damage to us or producing more tokens with Afterlife. So that's why we play Cry of the Carnarium, but we also do run 2 Kaya's Wrath. You could, if you wanted, play 4 Kaya's Wrath and no Cry of the Carnarium, but I do think this is important in a lot of cases. I think maybe in a best of 3, you would play 4 Kaya's Wrath and just sideboard Cry of the Carnarium, but when we're playing best of 1, we want to have a little bit of both. We also have 2 Vraska's Contempt to deal with pesky things like Rekindling Phoenix and Planeswalkers, because we don't really have a lot of ways to deal with Planeswalkers in this deck. We really only have Vraska's Contempt and Counterspells. Speaking of Counterspells, we run 2 Sinister Sabotages and 2 Absorbs. Again, you could run 4 of either of these depending on what you want. If you want to be surveilling and fixing your draw more, you could do that. But I prefer to have some Absorb because we need to gain life a lot of times. And this can help us just get past those turns where we're like very close, we're teetering on the edge of death, and gaining 3 life is really going to help us out. We do run 4 Chemister's Insight. You could probably cut this down to 3, but I found 4 to be pretty helpful. And sometimes when we're surveilling with either Thought Erasure or Sinister Sabotage, and we don't really need to draw Chemister's Insight, we can just go ahead and put it in the graveyard, knowing that if we top deck something bad, we can still play it from the graveyard. So it's really helpful. And of course, it's at instant speed, so we can play it at the end of our opponent's turn while holding up counterspells. What did I miss? Ooh, we also are running 2 Settle the Wreckages. I have seen Settle the Wreckage kind of be worked out of a lot of decks recently. It's not showing up as popular in Control, though it's still being played. Don't get me wrong, it's still definitely being played. But since Kaya's Wrath is here, I've seen a downturn in the number of Settle the Wreckages and Cleansing Novas. I've seen more Cleansing Nova. I think if Kaya's Wrath wasn't here, we would definitely be playing Cleansing Nova because it does deal with enchantments as well, which has its benefits and was more important when Nexus of Fate and Wilderness Reclamation was a thing. When we needed to destroy Wilderness Reclamations, we probably would like to run Cleansing Nova, but since that's not a thing in Best of 1 anymore, we don't really need to do that. However, we do run 2 Mortifies to deal with pesky enchantments like Wilderness Reclamation, though we're not seeing it as much right now as we were early on before Nexus of Fate got banned. We still do have issues, and we also want to destroy things like if somebody plays Ixalan's Binding on our Teferi or Kaya, or any kind of enchantment that we don't like. Of course, we want to remove it, but it also can deal with creatures when we need it. We do also, I skipped this, I realize, we do have 2 Negates, and that's kind of to deal with Planeswalkers, first of all, and other counterspells, and Thought Erasure from other Esper control or Dimir control decks in the early game. If we don't have a Thought Erasure and they play one, we can negate it, and then, do our thing. We also run 1 Search for Azcanta because we're going to want to at times go digging for our Teferi or our Kaya or even our just counterspells, things that we need in the late game to make sure we can seal the deal. We're going to want to go get them with flipped Search for Azcanta. I don't know if you can see this on your screen, but my mana base is honestly pretty screwy. It's not amazing. Because I'm budgety. My deck is kind of budgety. I'm running some Submerged Boneyards and Forsaken Sanctuaries, but we actually, and that's only because I don't have all the dual lands and things. I'm running some Azorius Guildgates, but you want to be running as many of these as you can get your hands on, depending on your budget, I suppose. Without further ado, I guess let's get into a little bit of gameplay. I almost forgot how to do that. Here we go. Alright, game 1 here versus Tezzeret named Joe Grizzly. Good old Joe Grizzly. Oh boy. So we go first, and we have 2 lands, which is just it's not going to cut it. Of course, we do have early removal. We have a Moment of Craving and a Negate, and some other things, but we don't have any draw spells, and we have no way to make sure we get lands. So I'm going to mulligan this and hope we get some more. It's not perfect, but it's good, and particularly because we can play Thought Erasure on turn 2, I'm going to keep this hand instead of the other one. Let's keep this. I think we actually put a Kai's Wrath on the bottom. Unfortunately, just because our mana base right now is too screwy for that. Again, this is why you want to have a nice solid mana base. Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Thought Erasure. We do have Dawn of Hope and Search for Azcanta ready to play. But it's looking like mono red, and I think we can probably... Yeah, oh, it's not mono red. It is Rakdos. Yeah, Sword Point. This is pretty nice. Okay, so what do we want to get rid of? I think we probably get rid of the Vishino Pyromancer just because that is their turn 2 play. And we don't really want to have to deal with that. We'll keep that on top. Now, I think what we do is probably go ahead and play the Dawn of Hope on our next turn so we can start churning out soldier tokens as soon as possible. Play our Forsaken Sanctuary, and yeah, let's play Dawn of Hope because this means we have a blocker for whatever creatures they put down. I see they have a Gutter Snipe, and so they're really more of a spell-centric deck, which is unfortunate. It's definitely unfortunate with what we're playing. We like to deal with creatures. They're easier to deal with. Oh, we do have a Mortify, though. It may be wise to go ahead and kill this so we don't take as much damage. And I know they're not going to be playing Planeswalkers. So I think we can Vraska's Contempt that. And that should slow them down quite a bit in terms of damage, at least. And it looks like they are not drawing the lands they need to play Sword Point Diplomacy. And that is nice. That's very nice. I think we take the damage right now. I mean, we're fine, and we don't want them to... Oh, that's good. The question here is, I don't think we make a token yet because it's so susceptible to shock. I think I'll go ahead and play the Search for Azcanta. Or Azcanta. However you want to pronounce it. I don't know, man. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Catan versus Catan. Some people probably get really riled up about that, but I could not really care less. Alright, Joe Grizzly, what you gonna do? Okay, just lightning striking me. Light of the stage. Okay. That makes sense. And then you picked up, what is that? A Rekindling Phoenix. Oh, okay. So it's kind of a bigger red. It's like a Rakdos mid-range. What a weird deck. This is kind of a strange deck. A good thing I do have a Vraska's Contempt still hanging around. So we can deal with that Rekindling Phoenix pretty easily. Did he just play 2 light up the stages? He did. He did play it twice. Why did you do that? You're not going to be able to play all those cards, and they're just going to be exiled. Sick. I mean, that's good for me. It's fine. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a concede from him pretty soon. I think I graveyard that. Actually, I don't think we're going to need it. We've got plenty of removal. Okay. Okay. Maybe I Thought Erasure? Because I don't want to play... I don't need to play the Vraska's Contempt on their turn. I think I Thought Erasure and get rid of the Sword Point Diplomacy. Because if they do draw a swamp, we're going to want that not in their hand. And I guess I keep that on top because I'm gonna need more lands. And we still have a Vraska's Contempt up for whenever that Rekindling Phoenix comes down. And again, earlier when I did exile their their Gutter Snipe. That was probably not a wise move, seeing as that I should have known they probably are running Rekindling Phoenix, but this is not a deck I'm used to seeing. This is quite unusual, actually. I have seen a lot of Gutter Snipe and like red spells, basically. Yeah, we'll keep that on top. I kind of want to go ahead and do it now. Because, quick trick that they could do, if I were to wait till their turn. Am I putting my hand in front of the camera? Anyway, if I were to wait until their turn and I tried to exile their Rekindling Phoenix, they could Lightning Strike their own Phoenix and kill it to keep it on the board. As a token, of course. But that's a thing that they could do if they had it. And so that's why I went ahead and played that on my turn, rather than waiting. Okay, so I could pick this up. The problem is I know that they have a shock in their hand, and their shock kills my Thief of Sanity. But maybe I do. Maybe I take the Thief of Sanity, because I'm going to make a creature token on their turn to block the Viashino Pyromancer, and it's probably going to get shocked. So that should get a shock out of their hand. I hope this plays out as I'm expecting. So I'm gonna go make a token and block with it, and then I'm assuming they shock it. No, they just run right into my token. That's fine. I gain life. I will take the damage. I would really appreciate a Kaya right here, so I can exile. I'm actually gonna graveyard that. I'm looking for a Kaya, so I can exile their risk factors. Obviously didn't get it. So we'll pass the turn again. I don't want to play my Thief of Sanity into a shock, so I'm just going to wait and make more tokens if I can. So they risk factor again, and they drop a mountain. Now, I could take the damage here. I think I take the damage here. I know I go to 8, which is not good. But it will definitely slow them down to have the only 2 cards in their hand. And I don't think they can hit lethal on this turn. So I make a token, and they almost definitely shock it before I can gain life with it on my turn. And yes, I want the negate. So we're going to attack with it. Okay, so they did not shock it. I'm still confused by that. It's fine. Okay, now they're shocking me. And that's fine, I'll let it happen. I'm going to decline and then play a Thief of Sanity now that they've gotten their shock out of their hand. And now I'm holding up a negate for their risk factor. Because I don't want to take damage, but I also don't want them to draw cards. So that's why we use the negate. Mr. Grizzly. This got pretty dang close to killing me, actually. It's kind of... I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. We graveyard that. And then transform you. So we have a Moment of Craving. That is excellent. I think we attack with both. We gain a life, and we steal a card. What do we got? Oh, he discarded a Rakdos Failure for that? Weird, he could have killed my Thief of Sanity. Okay. Yeah, I think we pay 2 to draw a card because we need a little bit of something. Oh my. Okay, well. I think we take that, so that doesn't do much for us. Then we just end the turn. Okay, good. That's perfect. Perfect for a Moment of Craving. Well, you got me there, buddy. I couldn't beat you to it. And then we pay to draw a card because we have nothing else to spend our mana on. And it's a wide open board. Again, I think I do spend the mana here. Pick up a Chemister's Insight, and I'll take a Skewer the Critics. And I'm going to go ahead and play that Skewer the Critics. And then end my turn. And I'm probably just going to make another token on their turn. And then win the game soon enough, I think. There's not a whole lot they could do to me at this point that will stop me from winning. I think we're in a pretty good spot. And this time I'm not going to draw cards. I think we decline, and see what we get. Vishino Pyromancer. That's nice. We'll go ahead and play that. Why did you tap that way? Why did you tap both of my islands? For shame. Sometimes I hate auto tap. We'll end the turn. Good game. Looks like he's about to concede. Or he's about to kill me. Oh, he's killing himself. Excellent. I could counter his spell. Yeah, okay. Good game. Committing seppuku with the shock. Well, that's game 1 in the books against a strange Rakdos deck that, unfortunately for them, never got off the ground. They couldn't get their mana right. And I feel a little bad about that. I kind of hate... I mean, I like winning, of course, but I hate when the opponent's deck just doesn't work at all. They're screwed by the draw. Or maybe screwed by a bad deck, of course, but... Okay, game 2. Game 2, and we have an interesting hand here. Actually, a very good hand. It's actually really good. Our opponent plays first, and so we'll probably go ahead and get down a Forsaken Sanctuary now, because that comes in tapped always, and they're off to a slow start as well. I'm considering shocking this in so that we can play a Moment of Craving on... what is this? Abzan? Abzan? I'm going to actually shock this in. This might be a bad idea, but I want to make sure that I can kill anything important that they put down here. Okay, Adonto Vanguard. Okay, I can deal with that. Moment of Craving does it. He can't make himself indestructible and protect him from Moment of Craving, I don't think. Which is very good. Very good for me. Yeah, we go Isolated Chapel. And we're drawing mana really well right now. And we've got a Teferi lined up for turn 5. And they have nothing yet. That's good. I'll go ahead and play a Drowned Catacomb. And then pass. And we can play Chemister's Insight at the end of their turn if I'm feeling like it. I don't think I have to. It might be good. Go ahead and get this out there. Refill our hand. Found another Drowned Catacomb and a Plains. I think we go Isolated Chapel. I'm worried. I'm a bit worried about playing Teferi right now because I don't have a counterspell for Vraska's Contempt, which is certainly maybe in their hand right now. And they'll have mana up for it on their turn. Or an Assassin's Trophy. They may play Assassin's Trophy in this too. These are all basic tap lands? No, it's not. But these are all basic tap lands. That's sad. Shoot. I kind of hate to do it. I hate to leave 5 mana wide open. But I don't have a counterspell. And I don't have a way to protect Teferi at this point. So I'm gonna hold them up. And see if they spend their mana on anything. Okay, there's a Sinister Sabotage. Perfect. The bad part now is that oh my, what's happening? Sorry. Sorry about that. They could Vraska's Contempt it right now as soon as I play it. I still get the effect of it. And I have a Sinister Sabotage for on their turn. I think I just wait. I think I wait and force them to play first to make sure that I've got everything is okay before I play my Teferi down, because I don't want to play it and then lose it, because this is a very important piece of our deck. And I've made that mistake of being too aggressive with our Planeswalkers, putting them out and then immediately having them removed. But it looks like they're playing really slow. I don't know what this deck is. They've got a Danto Vanguard, which makes me think like Abzan mid-range something, but I'm not seeing anything right now. So we'll go ahead and play that, and then we still don't have a counterspell up to protect Teferi, so we pass. Do I play Chemister's Insight? I think I do play the Chemister's Insight now, even though, yeah, we have a lot of counterspells now, ish. It's the discard. We play Plains, and if I play Teferi, I've got an Absorb like ready to go. So we draw a card with it, and it doesn't appear that they have removal as of yet. Maybe their deck is just screwing them over too. What is this? What is going on? This never happens when I play. I always I'm just kidding. I never lose games. I don't lose. So let's end the turn and discard. Wait, untap first. Untap you and untap you, and then discard. Maybe discard a cast down. I think we probably discard the cast down. I've yet to see what is going on. Am I playing just like the lamest decks right now? Phylactery Lich, eh? Huh. So I could counter Phylactery Lich. I could play Counterspell on Phylactery Lich, or I could Vraska's Contempt. I think I'd go ahead and counter this. It's indestructible, but we can exile it, and then we keep the negate on top. Okay, Phylactery Lich is a very cool card to play. I like it a lot. So we'll go ahead and play the Thief of Sanity, and we are rocking and rolling right now. We are very much rocking and rolling. We've got our Thief of Sanity out. We've got protection for our stuff. We've got counter spells and removal out the wazoo. Casting down. I think I negate. And then he concedes. Poor Biggio. Is it a Craig Biggio reference? All my Houston Astros fans will know. Craig Biggio reference? That guy doesn't even know. Game 3. Teferi on Teferi action. That's hot.
Oh, that's hot.
Oh.
That's hot.
Interesting hand here. I don't love it. I'll say that. I think I'm going to mulligan this because I have no white mana sources. This is almost equally bad, but we do have a scry and we do have a negate. I think I keep this and just put that on the bottom and make sure we get lands. We've got to get lands or we will die. And we may just die because this is mono red and we're looking like we're going to have a very slow start here. Oh boy. I was just waiting to run into mono red and get just rolled over because we don't have solid removal. Okay, light up the stage. Experimental Frenzy. Okay, so we've got another land. That's nice. We got a swamp. A little swamp. So we have a negate ready for if they play excuse me. If they play a risk factor or something like that. Shock? Don't care about shock. Fanatical Firebrand. Okay. Problem is, ooh, do I negate that? Because I'll go to 14 and then 11. I'll go to 11 this turn if I don't negate Skewer the Critics. I think I negate that. I still go to 14. It's not good. It's not good at all. Okay, since I don't have anything else to do, I'm going to Thought Erasure and get rid of their Lightning Strike. Perfect. Now I have a... Next turn, I have a Kaya's Wrath ready to go. If they play another creature, that is perfect. Yeah, I think I just go ahead and play Kaya's Wrath right now. Just get out of here. Get out of here. So we drew very fortunately there. That was nice. Another Fanatical Firebrand. That is 3 Fanatical Firebrands in a row they top decked. That's nice. For dummies. Okay, we pass. That was unfortunate not to be able to play Teferi there. That would have been nice. But we will live. I'm going to take that damage and then draw cards now. So we've got another Negate at the ready and a Cast Down. So we'll play Drowned Catacomb into Teferi.
I am not. Keep up the pace.
Oh, drew a Thought Erasure. That's good. That's good. Okay, so we untap. And now we have a Cast Down and a Negate. Lightning Strike. I don't want to take 3 damage because that takes me to 5. And I don't have a way to gain life right now. However, he doesn't have anything else to play as of yet. Okay, hello. Hello, sir. Yeah, he doesn't have the mana for a risk factor. That is what I was thinking about. Wait, cancel. Let's Thought Erasure first so we can get the Surveil. Okay, there's nothing there. Yep. Let's draw.
No time for a break.
Ew, okay. So we do have a blocker for the Fanatical Firebrand, but if they drew a Shock or a Lightning Strike or anything, Thief of Sanity is going to die. Light up the stage, eh? Okay, light up the stage is fine, and oh, that is so painful for the opponent. Gets 2 mountains? No, I'm sorry. It makes me actually feel bad for them. Ugh, rough. Okay, we're taking Teferi to 7. Please, can I get an Absorb? I would love an Absorb. So we'll attack with Thief of Sanity, because we don't really need a blocker next turn. And I'll take the Lava Runner, actually. I'll take the Lava Runner because he's a blocker for the Firebrand. And go Hallowed Fountain, and then end turn, and we get to untap them. Yeah, we need to gain some life here. Experimental Frenzy, huh? That's bad. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and Chemister's Insight, discard the Swamp. I'm gonna dig for a counterspell here. Fingers crossed. We get nope. No counterspell. That's fine. I guess we let it happen. Okay. It looks like he is going for a Spectacle here. Maybe Skewer the Critics. Or could be a Light Up the Stage. You can still play Light Up the Stage or Skewer the Critics. Okay. That's a yikes. If he picked up another one off the top, that would have been my doom. So I guess we pass to my turn. That's bad. I'm going to put away their Experimental Frenzy. The bad thing is, if they top deck a 3 mana burn spell, we're donezo still. Even with all the crap that, like, they've given us all the chances Good thing is, we can exile some stuff. I'm going to take Light Up the Stage because I want to play that and make sure I can get a counterspell. So we take their Light Up the Stage, and we pick up a Sinister Sabotage. That is beautiful. That is the beauty of this, of the Thief of Sanity. I love that so freaking much. I can't even explain how much I love that. Oh, yes. Yes. Runaway Steamkin. We will let that resolve. I should have guessed. I probably should have Sinister Sabotaged that because I won't have any use for that anymore. That was dumb. Now thinking back, I was like, oh, I'll save the Sinister Sabotage for something else, and I'll just cast down their Runaway Steamkin. I'm still going to cast down their Runaway Steamkin, but now I feel like an idiot. I feel like a big, big dummy. Okay, Moment of Craving is super nice, because we can actually cast that on our own creatures to help us not die.
Hold that thought.
Search for Azcanta. And then we're going to attack double with Thief of Sanity. Take their risk factor. Take a Wizard's Lightning. And go ahead and play the Wizard's Lightning now. And then play an island. Oh, yes. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Thief of Sanity, thank you. Thank you. You are the real MVP right now. You're the real MVP. Teferi, you can just go home, dude. We don't even need you. We don't even need you. Thief of Sanity is doing all the work here. Come on, bruh. Okay, Vishino Pyromancer. We'll risk factor them. Yeah. Okay, so Vishino Pyromancer comes in. He deals 2 damage, or not, or we just counter that. We just absorb it. That's fine. We'll absorb that. And then pass to my turn. Yeah, we'll keep that in the library. Transform you. Go ahead and draw another card. And then we'll attack. We'll just attack all. Oh, the bad news. The real dumb thing that I just did, that I didn't consider at all, is that by casting their risk factor, I just gave it back to them to play again. But I win here because I stole their Wizard's Lightning, I steal another Wizard's Lightning, and I kill them. I mean, if this game had gone on much longer, this would have been a dumb play to actually cast their risk factor. Well, I guess putting it in their graveyard in any regard would have helped them. But either way, we still snuck out a win right there. We snuck out a win. I'm going to edit that out. We'll mulligan that. That's not a great hand. Sorry, I kind of zoned out for a second there. That was very strange. This is much better. Again, it's a slow start because we have basic tap lands. But we do get to go first. And I think I keep Mortify on top. And play Azorius Guildgate into a Forsaken Sanctuary. Oh boy. So this could be mono red, which would be unfortunate. Vishino Pyromancer. Yep. Yep. Okay. Good old Hallowed Fountain. I think we play Hallowed Fount now. And then pass turn. See what comes up here. I don't really want to cast down the Vishino Pyromancer. I'm more concerned with a Gutter Snipe or a Runaway Steamkin here. So I'm going to save my cast down to see what happens here. They do nothing. Well, that's interesting. Okay. It's a bit of a slow play for mono red, which is, I guess, is good for us. Now I'm feeling silly for taking that 2 damage, but hey, I think we're gonna be all right. Okay. We pass our turn and see what they do. Do they maybe cast a risk factor here? Yeah, risk factor. We let it resolve. Oh gosh. So do we go to 12? Or do we let them draw 3 cards and refill their hand? Ah. These are painful decisions, man. I think we don't have a way to gain life right now. So I think we decline and we let them draw cards. Is that bad? I don't know. Normally, I feel like I'm too willing to take the damage, and then I end up really in a bind. Pyromantic Pilgrim, eh? Okay, I'll let that resolve. I must be playing against some really dirtily decks right now. This is kind of odd. I should be playing in ranked. So I'll kill the Pyromantic Pilgrim, take 2 damage, and the good news, we can play Kaya, Orzhov Usurper, exile Pyromantic Pilgrim from their graveyard, and gain 2 life.
I like a good fight. Notice I didn't.
And we exile their risk factor. Booyah, baby. Oh yeah, I love that. This is why I love Kaya, Orzhov Usurper, because it really screws over... Oh, that hurts. That just hurts. Another Pyromantic Pilgrim. Whoops. Hang on one. Sorry. I know my Kai is getting destroyed. Okay.
For now, but not forever.
Good news is we have a Cry of the Carnarium. We'll go ahead and cast that. They may have a Wizard's Lightning that they try to play now before they lose all their wizards, or just a Lightning Strike. But that saves us from taking a putload of damage on their turn. Okay, well, good thing we have a Vraska's Contempt, eh? And I think maybe we'll go ahead and use it now. Go ahead and Vraska's Contempt it. We want that life gain. And we don't want them to be able to kill it. Dagger Caster. The poor man's... What is it called? Goblin Boy. I'm calling it a Goblin Boy. I'll pass the turn. I could take 2 damage here and then play a Chemister's Insight. Because we are running out of mana and I need that. But they're running out of steam or just super flooding, like hard flooding. Risk factor is bad news. We kind of have to let them draw cards here. We don't have a way to gain life. Once again. Even more bad news though. Okay, here's the extra bad news, is that if we let them draw cards, they have 5 mana up, and they get 3 cards, and they'll have 4 cards in hand, and they dealt damage to me this turn. Oh, but that's a sorcery, so this is a sorcery, but they could potentially get a bunch of lightning strikes and shocks and stuff. I think I just have to let them draw the cards and hope for the best. It's not ideal. We're not in an ideal situation here. We've been betrayed by our deck. We don't want Thief of Sanity in this matchup. Thief of Sanity is very not good right here. So maybe I guess I wait. Yeah. I think I pass. I have a Cast Down and a Mortify ready to go. Spoiling for a fight. But I don't have any counter spells. And so I have to let them draw cards with this. And now we got a full hand of cards with 8 mana. We're basically done. We're basically toast already. There's a Lightning Strike. And what else? What else do you have this turn? Okay, my turn is over. What do you have? Pyromantic Pilgrim? Lovely. I would love for you to play that. I'll cast you down. I cast thee down. I mean, he's gonna kill me with spells. Yeah, there's a shock. What's coming up? A lightning strike, maybe? Skewer the critics. And what else? Goblin Chain Whirler for the win. Goblin Chain Whirler eats my poop. Good game. GG, opponent. We were having trouble there. So them being able to get rid of my Kaya like that was a big bummer. I thought that was going to be a way for me to stay in the game by gaining life, and we saw how good she can be if you can protect her. If I had a removal spell on hand to get rid of that Pyromantic Pilgrim when he played it, or if I could have just countered it in the first place and kept my Kaya alive, that would have been a very good situation. As it happened, though, that was not the case. So we're going to go ahead and play one more game and see what we're up against. Hopefully nothing is too weird. We've been playing against some kind of odd decks so far. Maybe something with like the matchmaking. I've played this deck a lot in ranked, and I'm not playing it ranked right now. And that may be the problem. That may be why we're facing weird decks, is because people go to not ranked to play their goofy decks, and that's just what we're facing up against. Who knows? Okay, this is a hand I keep, I think. It's not amazing, but it's actually pretty good. So we do have a Hallowed Fountain. We've got all our mana sources, but we're gonna need more sources. If we're ever gonna play an Absorb, we've got to have 2 blues and a white. But we do have mana for Moment of Craving, and then probably we're gonna have mana for Kai's Wrath and Vraska's Contempt as soon as turn 4 comes around. Hopefully, I'm hoping that. We'll see. So we go Hallowed Fountain, enters tapped. Now we've picked up another Chemister's Insight. Something I've run into with this deck is that we're running 4 Thought Erasures and 4 Chemister's Insights, which there's the counterspell we can't play with this mana pool. That's awesome. That's so good. As I was saying, we're running 4 Chemister's Insights and 4 Thought Erasures, and that can be a problem sometimes when we pick up a Thought Erasure when we really don't want to. However, right now we really want to play a Thought Erasure. Are they even playing gates? They haven't even played a single gate yet. Why do they have a Guild Summit? I don't make the rules, okay? So they're doing gates, but they don't even have gates. Do they know how this game works? I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. I think we get rid of Hydroid Crassus. We definitely want to keep Kaya on top, because Kaya will help us get rid of Gate Colossus. So when Gate Colossus goes to the graveyard, whenever they play a gate, there's a gate. They actually drew a gate now. When Gate Colossus goes to the graveyard, let me just read the actual text. Whenever a gate enters the battlefield under your control, you may put Gate Colossus from your graveyard on top of your library. So this is a really pesky creature to deal with, because it basically is cast for 0 in the late game against a gates deck. When they've got like 10 gates, if they have 8 gates on the field, they cast this for nothing. Right now, we'll just play the Kaya Orzhov Usurper. And yeah, we'll exile Hydroid Crassus from the graveyard. And this is going to help us get rid of Gate Colossus later by exiling it from the graveyard if we are able to remove it. However, Gates decks are one of the reasons I play Settle the Wreckage and Vraska's Contempt, because we have to exile Gate Colossus or they just keep bringing it back. And we do not want that. Okay. They don't have anything in the graveyard to deal with right now, so they're actually showing some gates now. Why? I don't understand what they're doing. Why do they? Because normally, I'm not exiling my own cards yet. Normally, people basically play only gates. Maybe this person just doesn't have gates and they didn't want to use their common wild cards. I don't know. I don't make the rules. But good news is, we do have a Vraska's Contempt ready to go, and we have a Chemister's Insight at the end of their turn. The bad news is we cannot play our Absorb yet, because we don't have the mana. Okay, Treasure Map. Treasure Map's also something you don't see very often in a Gates deck. I'm kind of interested, I'm curious to see how this will play out. Okay, so they're... Ooh, sorry, excuse me. I'm not actually tired, I'm not bored. I just yawned for fun. There's the Gateway Plaza. Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll play Chemister's Insight on at the end of their turn. Hopefully they don't have a negate. They might have a negate. Okay, this is excellent. I'm going to go ahead and play the island right now so we can have an absorb up on their turn. And then we're just going to keep on doing this.
Pack your bag.
And beefing Kaya
The
up
road.
as much as we can. Growth spiral, eh? Yikes. The growth spiral with Guild Summit combo can be really nice if they actually put a Guildgate on the field and not a mountain. Ooh, 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 ooh. They may be doing... Ooh, I'm starting to see it now. What possibly they're doing. What is it? There's a creature called Awakened Amalgam that I believe... I'll have to look it up later. I think it's like a 4/4 artifact creature that gets +1/+1 for every mana. No. Maybe it's just a 0/0 artifact creature. I think I let this resolve, and then I exile it. Anyway, it's an artifact creature that's strength and toughness are basically equal to the number of lands that you control with different names. So they may be just doing like a different lands deck, which is pretty cool. I kind of like that. I think we Vraska's Contempt this just to get rid of it now and forever. Hopefully they don't run Negate. Thank you. I guess I could have just absorbed it and then exiled it with Kaya. That may have been a better play. In fact, that probably would have been a better play. But I've made the mistake now. There's no going back. But I'm logging that for future use. Yeah, we'll play Hallowed Fountain. Growth Spiral. What I want to do is absorb creatures like Gatebreaker Ram and Archway Angel. Things with big impact that we don't necessarily just need to exile. Ooh, I'm yawning again. Golly. Must be coming up on the end of the video, eh? That was bad. Okay, another guild summit. They're gonna basically refill their hand if I let this happen. I think I absorb this. Another guild summit. That's lovely. That's lovely. They're only able to tap 2 gates. So that's not as bad. It's not great. Well, there they go. At least they didn't draw 3 cards like they would have if they were the 3rd guild summit. This is another reason we like to run... we might like to run Cleansing Nova. Is because it can deal with a bunch of guild summits and treasure tokens. Okay. Okay, we've got a negate ready. This Gatebreaker Ram is probably gonna kill Kaya next turn, if I had to guess. The bad news is we don't really have a way to deal with it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and exile more stuff from their graveyard. I don't think I play Kaya's Wrath right now. What I want to do... No, I'm never going to have the mana for that. But what I'd like to do is Kaya's Wrath and then Cry of the Cranarium and just exile all creature cards so they don't have anything to deal damage to me with. Besides maybe a Banefire that you might run in this deck. Okay, why would you do that? Why is that what you would do? No. I'm going to go ahead and play Chemister's Insight. So I can maybe get a cast down. No, we got an Isolated Chapel though. And I'm not going to play Search for Azcanta because I want to keep my Negate at the ready. Well, maybe I don't need to keep my Negate at the ready. I think I'd go ahead and play Search for Azcanta. That was a long turn. I'm sorry, opponent. 22 eats rocks. I was taking my sweet time. Yeah, they've done their damage for the most part with non-creature spells, playing Guild Summit. Unless they have Rhythm of the Wild. I've seen Rhythm of the Wild come out in these kinds of decks to give Gatebreaker Ram. Oh, frick. Well, that's why we would want to negate. Since when does this deck run Mass Manipulation? Are you serious?
Funny, that's what I do.
Oh my gosh, now I feel like a moron. I feel like an absolute idiot. Who does this? Who plays Mass Manipulation in a Gates deck? I guess I was naive to just assume that that they were just going to kill my Kaya with Gatebreaker Ram. Jeez Louise. Okay, well, I'm going to play Kaya's Wrath because I don't want to take a bunch of damage. And I've got another one ready. That's terrible. That's actually terrible. They can keep exiling cards from my graveyard, and I only have one Vraska's Contempt left in my deck to deal with this Kaya. I mean, I suppose if I played a Teferi, I could put it back into my library. But that's a costly play. And it's dependent on me actually getting a Teferi. Yep, there you go, 2 more of my cards. Wow. Wow, what a bamboozle. Okay. We keep that in our library. So Kaya is at 10, and we have 4 cards currently in our graveyard, so they can deal 4 damage to me. I pass turn. And I'm hoping to dig up a Teferi with our Search for Azcanta. That's just about the only way we could win at this point, is to get a Teferi, put our own Kaya back in our graveyard, or not our graveyard, our library, I mean. Yep, there go 2 more cards. I'm afraid to play my Chemister's Insight, too, because I feel like she's just going to exile it from me. I take the damage. I guess I do play my Chemister's Insight at the end of this turn, though. Yeah. We'll go ahead and do that. Oh boy, 2 lands. Nice. And we're never going to be able to flip our Search for Azcanta because we're never going to have 7 or more cards in our graveyard because of this Kaya. This is really depressing now. I'm very sad about that Mass Manipulation. When I was like, yeah, I'll hold up my Negate for something. It's going to be important. Then I'm like, wait a second. They probably don't have anything, right? And then, no. They play Mass Manipulation and take my freaking Planeswalker, and I can't get it back. Ugh, kill me. Okay. I will never not be upset about that. I'm just gonna go cry real quick. Hang on. Okay. 22 eats rocks. I feel like they're just gonna play this really slow now, and wait for, because they know that I've got a Kaya's Wrath. And they don't want to play a bunch of creatures out into that. So there's a Gate Colossus. Okay. They already played a Guildgate. So I think we resolve this. We resolve it and hope that they play maybe another Gate Colossus actually. Okay, yeah, we're on the verge of losing here. I don't know if I can grab this back. It would be very difficult. That Kaya steal basically lost me the game by playing this, being too greedy and playing the Search for Azcanta instead of holding up my Negate. Pretty much was the loss right there. I'm going to play the Moment of Craving just to take less damage and gain some life here. And then I will Chemister's Insight with this island and pray that we draw something nice. Something nice. "22 eats rocks." What you doing, broski? What you got over there? Explosion, and I go to 1. Wow. Wow. All right. So this is like, they're playing like the control deck variant of Gates. So if I could possibly survive, I'd have to, in order to survive, I'd have to kill both of these creatures, probably exile them, get rid of that Kaya, or gain enough life to where the 7 damage is not going to kill me, which I can't do. I graveyard that, because it doesn't help me. And then I lose. That's it. That's just it. I just lose. There's nothing I can do. I can't get rid of the Kaya. I could get rid of both of these creatures, at least temporarily. I don't know if they would play more Expansion Explosion in order to just ping me for damage. Or Banefire maybe even. I don't know. But I mean, if I were able to draw the game out longer, I might end up being able to get them to deck themselves because of that play right there where they drew 11 cards and then had to discard a bunch. But I think I just lose. I'm going to go ahead and Kaya's Wrath, and then they kill me with my Kaya Orzhov Usurper because I don't have removal for it. This is so sad. Man, I was feeling very confident early on in this game until that play. Yeah, resolve that and then die. Good game, opponent. Props to them. Props to them, honestly, for that play. And I'm gonna beat myself with a broom handle for not holding up mana for my Negate. Oh my lord. Anyway, now that you've seen some gameplay with this deck, let me know what you think in the comments. Is this good? What would you change about it? What would you have done differently in those games, maybe? Would you have not played this Search for Azcanta and held up a Negate? If you're smart, you would have, but I'm not smart. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to spend a little bit of it with me. It's been a blast, and until next time, bye!